Hey Discovery friends, Miss Corinne here. Today y'all flew to South America. South America is a vast chain of mountains that run the length of the continent. On its western side is the world's driest desert. On the east is the biggest rainforest. The equator is an imaginary line around Earth's middle. It would take you a month to walk across just the southern part of it. Over here on this side, you'll see the Pacific Ocean, and down here is the Atlantic Ocean, and down at the tip of South America, you can see Cape Horn. The southern tip of South America is called Cape Horn. The seas around it are so stormy that hundreds of ships have been shipwrecked there. So let's see some of the things we're going to learn about while we are in South America. 1/3 of South America is covered by a huge jungle called the Amazon rainforest. To the east and south of the rainforest are rich grasslands, enormous cattle ranches, and South America's biggest cities. Forest life. Native people have lived in the Amazon jungle for thousands of years. They survive by hunting and gathering wild food without harming the forest. Deadly animals. The Amazon rainforest is home to all sorts of dangerous creatures. Forest people use poison dart frogs to make deadly poisons for arrows. The jaguar is a very secretive cat. It's a good swimmer and climber. Piranhas are vicious fish with very sharp teeth. They hunt in packs. The boa constrictor kills animals by squeezing them to death. This is the highest waterfall in South America. It's in Angel Falls in Venezuela and is the world's highest waterfall. The water tumbles off a flat-topped mountain and plunges 3,215 feet to the ground. That's 3 times the height of New York's Empire State Building. Here, some forest fruits. This is a kind of passion fruit. It's one of the many exotic fruits that are grown in tropical parts of South America. This is in Rio de Janeiro. We're going to make a little stop there. A statue of Christ towers over Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's second largest city. In the bay, it is the domed-shaped Sugarloaf Mountain. Carnival. We're going to talk about this. This is fun. Every year, Rio de Janeiro holds a spectacular carnival that lasts for 4 days. People dress up in brilliant costumes and dance through the streets, blowing whistles and singing. We're also going to talk about parts of South America known as the Andes. And the Andes stretch all the way down South America, forming the world's longest mountain range. The people and animals that live in the Andes are used to the cold, thin air. That's a condor. He's a huge bird of prey. You can see how vast his wingspan is, 10 feet from tip to tip. Machu Picchu, we're going to make a stop here. High in the Andes in Peru are the ruins of an ancient city called Machu Picchu. The city was built about 500 years ago by people called the Incas. We're also going to learn about this animal, llama llama. A llama is a tall sheep. People in the Andes keep llamas for their warm wool, for their milk and meat, and for carrying cargo. This is a panpipe. Panpipes are a traditional Andean musical instrument. They're made from hollow reeds or bamboo. That's probably a wind instrument. What do you think? You probably would blow into it. And right here you can see we've talked a lot about cloth and weaving in different cultures, and we're going to talk about in Peru about these bright colors and the people who live there. And they've lived there for hundreds of years in their tradition. There's part of the desert. There's a big city in Chile. So we'll talk about some of these things as we move along. South America. This continent is home to the world's largest rainforest and its driest desert. This is Jaguar in Brazil, which is where our first stop is going to be. The countries, from big Brazil to small Suriname, I think I'm pronouncing it. South America has 12 countries. Farming is important here. Many foods come from this continent, like potatoes, tomatoes, and bananas. Most cities are near the coasts. This is Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So here's a map of South America. And as you can see, this is Brazil, very, very large country, and the Amazon River and the Amazon rainforest runs through here. The land, the world's longest mountain range and its second longest river are here. The Andes mountain range stretches down the west side of South America. Some of these mountains are volcanoes. The Amazon River is very long. It snakes through the Amazon rainforest. And so we're going to talk about that and talk about why it looks like kind of muddy and how long it is. We don't really talk much about the desert, but since we're in South America, I'll go ahead and read this. The Atacama Desert in Chile is the driest place on Earth. Here's another different map of South America. This one you can tell like that there's mountains over here. You can see the river and the rainforest. There's some other kind of rainforest down over here, because this is showing you mountain, the arid dry areas, the rainforest, the grassland, and the wetlands. So we have lots of different habitats that we can find in South America. The weather. Rainforest bound, bring your umbrella. This right here is a Glaciers National Park that you can find in Argentina, in Patagonia. It's hot and rainy in the northern half of South America. The Amazon rainforest is here. Parts of the forest can get up to 9 feet of rain a year. This is a national park. You can see how foresty and wet it looks. The southern tip of South America is very cold. Actually, if you were going to Antarctica, that would be one way that we could get down there. You'd go down there, and then from the end of South America, you'd hop over. Well, not hop, but you'd get over to Antarctica. That's because it's so far from the equator. Giant ice sheets cover some parts of the land over there. So you would get some glaciers down at the southern tip of South America, even though up in the top, the equator runs through, and you'll find these tropical rainforests. The people, hola. That's how most people say hello in South America. Very long ago, people made their way from Asia across North America into South America. Over time, they built great cities. People from Europe and Africa came later. Today, most South Americans are related to Asian, European, or African groups. Portuguese and Spanish are the main languages, and that's a little girl in Peru, and that's people doing some white rafting in Ecuador. And guess what the most popular sport is? Soccer. The animals. Armadillos. This is a type of parrot called a blue and yellow macaw. It has a powerful beak for cracking nuts and seeds. We'll talk about that. And guanacos are related to camels. They live on the plains, plateaus, and coastlines of Peru, Chile, and Argentina. They also live in the Andes. A wide variety of animals live in South America. There are blue and yellow macaws, poison dart frogs, and pink river dolphins in the rainforest. So we're going to actually talk about the poison dart frog, and when we're in the Amazon, we're going to talk about the macaw. And this is a pink river dolphin. You'll also find llamas in the mountains. Armadillos live in different areas of the continent. The sights. Hiking boots and dancing shoes. Travelers hike a long way to see stone ruins and on a mountaintop in Peru. This site is called Machu Picchu. It's known as the lost city of the Inca. The Inca were ancient South American people. Here's a cool picture. We're going to learn a little bit more about that and how it was found and what people think about it, and it was sort of just a lost city in the middle of all this forest that was found, and you can actually still go there today. Many South Americans celebrate Carnival. It's a festive season, usually in February, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. People wear colorful costumes and dance in the streets. This is just an activity that if you want to make your own little rainforest with a bottle, you can. You'd need scissors, tape, a bottle, small stones or petals, potting soil. I'll go ahead and scan this page in and drop it in on the Shutterfly in case anyone wants to try this at home. All right, that's all I have for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye, friends.